I'm Farah Shammas. Welcome to Hotel Talk. We hope you enjoy listening to this friendly conversation between people connected by real life in hotels. Hello everyone, and today is the hotel's 36-year anniversary. It's also 37 years since the Marina opened here in Limassol, Cyprus, which was the first private marina on the island, and we're extremely proud about that. We're in fact so proud that a few years ago we decided to rebrand as St. Raphael Resort and Marina, so not keeping those two brands, the resort and the marina, separate, and really having them as one under one umbrella. And I'd love to tell you a little bit about the hotel, about the history, about my family. And I've got some questions here in front of me that my team have put together, thinking these are things that you guys might find interesting, and I'm pretty sure you will. So the first question I have here is, how old was I when the hotel opened? And it was 1987, as I just said, so I was 7 years old. You can work out my age from that. And of course, 6 years old when St. Raphael Marina opened. When we opened, we were part of the Sheraton group. So it was Sheraton Limassol. Actually, it was originally Limassol Sheraton. So the Sheraton brand had the name of the place in front of their brand. And then a few years in, they changed it all around, obviously realizing that that came up really strange in indexes. So then they became Sheraton Limassol. And I remember seeing that on the old brochures at the time. And I think growing up in hotels, it was just so fascinating for me. And I do feel really blessed. And I think probably what intrigued me the most was the marketing. And that's why I'm now in marketing. Or, well, that's my background at least. So yeah, I just found it so interesting to see the brochures, how it was advertised. I remember in the 80s, like finding it so cheeky that there was even topless scenes in our little brochures, whether that was in the sauna, a scene, and then later on, on windsurfing and things like that. But yeah, I'd love to show you that. So maybe on the YouTube video, we can get some of those popping up. The first choice that I made in the hotel was actually when I was 6 years old, and my dad gave me a printed brochure of playground equipment. And he told me and my brother, what would you like to play on? And we were like, wow, flicking through this thing. And I remember seeing what I thought was this huge, tall tower almost, but it was actually a slide. So with a spiral staircase going up and then a spiral slide around it, and a really cute kind of face that had a seesaw, and then a merry-go-round. Everyone was calling them roundabouts, but yeah, you know what I mean. And the swings. And so we chose those. And then my dad was like, well, that's the best voice to choose because you're the ones that will be playing on it, like kids your age. And we were promised that we'd be the first ones to get to play on that. And I guess the hotel had just opened, which opened, as we said now, it's June 29th, 1987. And so it must have been that week after. We were in my grandfather's suite, which was suite 103, which is still known as the founder's suite, Shukri Hanna Shammas' suite. And I was looking out from the balcony and I saw other kids playing on this. And actually saying that, maybe the hotel wasn't even open because we didn't have guests. So maybe this was a pre-opening and he was just staying in his suite. And I was like, what do you mean there's other kids there? And yeah, I remember that like really vividly in my head. So that being quite an issue. And my dad was like, oh, it doesn't matter, let it go. So yeah, you can still book and stay in suite 103. We renovated it many times, but the last time a few years ago. And we've got these lovely turquoise colors and kind of green hues, which green was my grandfather's favorite color. And it's a modest suite. It's not the biggest suite of the house. It's not the presidential suite. And my grandfather was a very humble man. I think I've said before on this podcast, he's amazing. He passed away in 1993, so he only saw 6 years of the hotel in operation. But this was his dream, and he got to live out his dream, which was amazing. And there's many reasons why he wanted to build a hotel and a resort and a marina. But one which we covered on this podcast as well was that he fell in love with Cyprus. He was Greek Orthodox, and we are as a family, and he loved that this was a Greek Orthodox culture and nation, and he wanted to provide work for local people. He wanted to build something for the community to enjoy, and he wanted to leave a lasting legacy for his family to be able to enjoy and reap the benefits from. And I think all of those have been fulfilled. So many people have worked here, and not just locals, people from all over the world. And I think that's our strongest asset in this hotel is the people. And I'm so proud that we have people who have worked with us for 36, 37 years. But not just that, because we honor those people every year, every day, but also people have worked with us for over 25 years, over 20 years, over 15 years, over 5 years. And that in itself is incredible, because our industry is one that there's a huge turnover all the time. But this hotel has always managed to retain its staff, and really people feel part of a family. And that's what we always have aimed to do. So my first job in the hotel was when I was 22 years old. I just finished my master's, which was in tourism marketing. And I came back to Cyprus quite tired from not just my studies, but I was 6 years at boarding school before that. So it was a kind of a 10-year stint of really, for me, I felt just not really having a base. So originally when I finished my master's, I said, right, I'm going to go to Athens for a year and work there and work in a different hotel. But then I came back and I was just exhausted. So I said, right, I'm going to stay in Cyprus. I had thought, all right, I'll get a job at another hotel. And then, of course, no one will employ me, being the daughter of another hotelier. So I ended up, it was Andres Drakos at the time, who has been on this podcast, said, why don't you come and work in Paphos and do your training there? So that was the plan until about a week before. And then I was like, oh, who am I kidding? It's winter. I don't want to drive to Paphos. And I remember George Galazariotis, who hopefully will come on this podcast, who's a very good family friend. And at the time, they were the owners of Le Méridien next door, which is now Park Lane, said, you know what, Farah, every hotel has such a different experience to offer. But if you want to one day run your hotel, then the best place to get experience for that is your own hotel. And I did. I started working here, and I did 6 months, like moving around all the departments. And I can't say it was easy, because being from a privileged background and position within this hotel, everybody was very afraid to train me. They didn't know me. They were afraid of who I might be, of what I might say, of who I might say it to. So I was kind of just this like glass object that wasn't touched. And and then some people were even a bit like dismissive and abrupt. And so I just kind of felt I was thrown in the deep end a bit. But I love challenges, and I was like, right, I'm just going to throw back love, throw back kindness, be polite to everyone, and make the most of it and learn whatever I can. And I eventually ended up in the executive offices, which at the time we'd just been through quite a lot of redundancies. We were restructuring. And our sales department basically consisted of Pamela Nicolaou, who was our group's coordinator, and that was it. So the only way really to learn, and this is a very different time, guys, where there was faxes. I think I was the first person in the company to have an email, which was at SpiderNet, if anybody remembers SpiderNet. And we barely had a website up and running, and it was just, very different. And I just literally got out all these physical files, and every day I would be like, right, going through them. And I had to, teach myself what was an educational, how do you write a group request? How do you write a function form? And so I really learned that way. And it took a while, but I think some days I felt disappointed, and then other days or disheartened. And then I just really reminded myself, like every day, if I learn one thing, in those, oh my goodness, I stay like here for 10 hours a day, but one thing, then that's already like a piece of the puzzle that I need. And it did. It slowly started clicking into place. how did I feel growing up in the hotel? I loved it. I just felt so lucky. I really felt always so proud of the hotel. My mother was adamant that while we were privileged children, we weren't to be spoilt children. So we appreciated everyone. We always spoke to everyone in the same manner, whether that was a pool attendant or the general manager. That kindness always wins. And yeah, it was just so lovely to grow up in this environment. I mean, who doesn't love it? And I often tell everyone and my colleagues and everyone in the team just how lucky we are, because we work in this environment that other people have to save all year to enjoy 1 week of what we have every day. And we shouldn't forget that. So whatever we're doing, even me that I laugh, I have an office with car park view, but I get to walk out every day and see the environment here and check on the facilities, but then have a look at the marina and that beautiful garden space and everything else. So I feel very blessed. My best memory here, I think I don't have just one. I have so many. Of course, my wedding was here, and that was just an absolutely magical time in my life. It wasn't a one-day event or a few hours event. It was so nice to have so many people visiting from abroad. You guys know who you are. And we just had so much fun, and we laugh. It was like a 10-day bender, to use that word. We just really had fun. Everybody came for just over a week. Some people came for the weekend. Had all my friends here based in Cyprus, and we just had a lot of fun. So I'd say that's definitely one of my best memories in this hotel. We transformed the Palladium into like a 2-night club with the opening and the closing one after the other. And it was just brilliant. And of course, the christenings of my children, they were super magical. We used obviously churches locally, but then we had beautiful, beautiful events at Sailor's Rest, at the Phoenician, which now of course has been knocked down. It was our Arabic restaurant, and that's now where the tower stands. So yeah, really, really lovely. So many, just too many to mention here. An incident that I will never forget. Well, I think I won't forget a lot. I would say the whole journey, the whole part of being involved in this hotel. We spoke about it with Helen, our front office manager, on one episode of a lady coming to the hotel and leaving her baby in a room. I mean, there's so many examples of that. With Craig, we spoke about a child nearly drowning. I mean, the amount of wonderful and yet harrowing events that we see in hotels is unforgettable, but it's what makes every day different and what makes us really feel alive and feel blessed. So I'm blessed for everything and every incident that I have experienced here, because it's taught me something that I will hold with me forever. How is it having your kids growing up in the hotel? I would say it's quite emotional because especially with my eldest, who looks quite like me and like I did at her age. And it's like, watching part 2 of the movie. So it's not my life, it's not my experience, but it reminds me of my own experiences here. And then she gets to experience a completely different hotel and a different memory, because it is different and she'll view it differently. And of course, it's developed so much over the years. So I feel like the kids are incredibly lucky to see that. I have to remind myself of that, because I do get very often quizzed by my children. Why do you work? Why do you have to be away from us? Why do you have to travel for work? Why do you have to go to those dinners or not be with us? And there are tears sometimes, and sometimes tantrums, and the guilt is always there. And I think that's why there's not many women at the top when it comes to hotels, because it's a lifestyle and it's a 24/7 job. But saying that, I'm very, very blessed because I have a great team around me. I think I've managed to find a really good balance between work and home, and I can not micromanage like I used to, and I can leave the hotel and know that it's in safe hands. And I trust my team, I trust my GM, and I'm there for my kids. So I hope that will inspire them to go into the business world in whatever sense they want, or whatever job they want, or whatever career, whatever path. And it won't put them off being entrepreneurial or, busy in life. I hope that they'll appreciate it one day. What's your aim for the hotel in the next 4 to 5 years? So my aim is definitely to make this hotel a sustainable one, to showcase to the world, not just to Cyprus, how you can have really large organizations and make them sustainable, to have a reduced carbon footprint, to be kind, to be loving, and to really stand out as one of the leading hotels. I don't want to be the poshest hotel. That's not really my style. We're a 5-star luxury resort. I think we offer amazing value for money because while we're not obviously a cheap hotel, the reflection and what you get for your money is just fantastic. And I think we're a friendly hotel. And I think people can come here and really relax and have all the services they need and just have great food and have friendly people around them and just a beautiful environment to be in. And I'm exceptionally proud of that. And I think it's just onwards and upwards from here. And I think we're achieving great things all the time. And I can't wait to show you guys what we have in plan in the next 4 to 5 years. What is the one thing you are proud about in the hotel? Definitely the people, definitely the team. They're definitely my proudest moments and experiences and aspects of this whole business. So team, if you're listening to this, I love you. Couldn't do this without you. I think there's some incredible people here that inspire me every day. And I'm so proud of all of them. We have people who come from all sorts of backgrounds, all sorts of cultures, and they all join here together. And the synergies that you see, the dynamics, how it plays out every day, how they overcome every day, and every moment, life obstacles and so much more. It just really is amazing. So I think they're a testament to themselves and to our establishment. And I think you can see that on all reviews where people leave and they say, wow, we loved it. We love the rooms and we love the food and we love the lobby and we loved the spa and whatever else. And they always say, but your staff are amazing. So yeah, nothing counts before the but. So the people are definitely what I'm most proud about. Which year was the most important for the hotel, like a big transition, renovation, etc.? Goodness, we've had so many, but I would say probably 2006, which was when we opened the executive wing. And that was really a big turning point for our hotel because everything expanded, everything got bigger. The gardens got bigger. We got a second huge swimming pool. We had a slide. We had 56 really big bedrooms, like 35 square meter bedrooms. We had suddenly better economies of scale. We had a conference center. We had new restaurants, and we also introduced the luxury all-inclusive concept, which was the first one in Cyprus, and which was why we won so many World Travel Awards, which is like the Oscars of the travel industry, for being a leading all-inclusive hotel in Europe. Since then, of course, we offer now bed and breakfast and half board as well. And we find that people are going like half for both. But the nice thing is that we are this beautiful hotel, luxury 5-star resort where you can come and have your bed and breakfast. You can have a half board option if you want, but especially if you want to budget your holiday, whether you're, just coming alone, traveling solo, or with your partner, or with a family, which is, I think, where we are most popular with the all-inclusive with. You can just budget that and you can know, like, okay, I'm going to get all of these facilities and I've already paid for it and I'm going to enjoy every part of the holiday. So I would say 2006 was a big, big year for us. And then, of course, 2019, when we opened the tower, that was really special. And that was something very different to have, this luxury condo hotel and, residential aspects added to our inventory and our category of rooms and what's available to be booked here. So that was amazing. Favorite area of the hotel? That's easy. That's my happy place. It's the Captain's Terrace. If I have to think of my tranquil, happy place, if I'm stressed, if I'm meditating and I close my eyes, I just see that view. And I just think it's the most beautiful view in the world. And I've traveled to a lot of places, and for me, it's just amazing. You literally see this diamond-shaped marina in front of you, day or night. It's beautiful. And then the Mediterranean Sea and the different blues that come out, and this huge beach. And then before that, these unbelievable gardens that we've worked so hard on. My grandmother loved gardens as well. That was important to her when the hotel was opened. And just stunning, and it's just so beautiful. And I definitely recommend anyone, if they're staying, to book a Marina View room or an Imperial room or one of our suites, or Admiral or Presidential, because they're all at the front of the hotel, south facing. The energy is so good. And that view, I mean, I could just stare at that view for hours and never be bored and never feel, anything except for gratitude. So now we've got some questions here that I have answered before on YouTube. So hop along to our YouTube channel if you haven't already and subscribe. Why is the logo a seahorse? So a seahorse means good luck in work abroad. We're originally a Lebanese family, and so this is work abroad for us, even though I live here and I'm married here now. And so I've got relatives as well who are living in Cyprus too. But the seahorse does mean that. It's also an emblem of, oh my goodness, it embodies so much that is unique, like the male being the one that's pregnant. It's a sea animal, and of course we're next to the sea, and it does stand for traveling, for good luck, for movement. So that's why we chose the seahorse. And another reason is that our construction company is called Cat, and it's a cat logo. My father had butterflies as his emblem for his hotels in the UK. And in general, we've always had animals as kind of our logos. So it just worked. And I think it's been a great, great symbol that has really kept us well since 1996, when we broke away from the Sheraton Group and became St. Raphael Resort. We chose the name St. Raphael Resort, another question, because we had loads of merchandise. I'm looking in the room if we've got anything here, but we don't. But we had loads of cups, of mugs, of plates, of cutlery, crockery, towels, bins. I think the bin in my office still has the Sheraton logo on it. So we had all these things with the Sheraton logo, which for those of you who don't know is an S with a kind of laurel wreath around it. So we were like, oh my goodness, if we have to come up with a different name and we call it, I don't know, Golden whatever hotel, or I don't know, whatever name, not that that was an option, but you know what I mean. We would have been stuck with all these S's everywhere. And why was that the case? So we were like, okay, let's keep the S as the first letter of whatever name we go for. And then it was Sandy Beach, Sunny Resort, and all these kind of names proposed to us that really sounded very cheap and three-star. I don't know, we thought. So we then said, all right, let's go with a saint. At the time, we did own with our partners St. George in Beirut. Many of you guys may know it. You might have traveled there in the past, which was the most beautiful hotel in Lebanon at the time. That was unfortunately bombed during the Lebanese war and raided. And we sold our shares with that after that. But at the time we thought, oh, let's call it St. George and we can join it. But there is already a St. George here in Cyprus, in Paphos. So we then were looking for a different saint, and we found St. Raphael. And my parents loved that name. I think they'd stayed in the Raphael in Paris, and there's San Raphael in the south of France. And so there's loads of good connotations with that. And then looking into it deeper, St. Raphael actually is a patron saint in Cyprus. And he was persecuted by the Turks. His story isn't that pleasant. He was, I think, killed multiple, or I think tortured and tried to be killed many times before he actually did die. Which is why we don't have the very big painting in the lobby, which was done by Andreas Macario. Originally, the proposed sketch for that painting was St. Raphael on a crucifix, and it was quite a dark painting with like red paint flying everywhere and donating all the blood that was shed. Oh my goodness. And I remember looking at that with my dad and we were like, no. But it was a beautiful painting. So my dad did commission that in still a big painting, like a 2 meter by 1.5, something like that painting. But my dad had that for him personally. And then this big painting that is, I can't remember now, 15 meters by 5.5 meters was then done in the lobby, happier themes, again, surrounding the Mediterranean and ancient Greek myths. So that's why we came up with the name. And the colour red was because when we were part of the Sheraton group, we had the colour yellow. So all our beach towels were yellow and our big sign, neon sign outside the hotel was yellow. And bit of marketing for you, that when it comes to lighting, the light that can be seen the furthest away is either white, yellow or red. Blue and green is less so. So we didn't want to go with blue and green because we wanted people to see that light from far away. We'd already used yellow, so we were like, that's done. We need something new. And white was also being used at the time by Le Méridien. And blue and green were also being used by Grand Resort and Elias Beach Hotel. So either side of us, those colours were taken. And we always want to be unique. And so we said, right, let's go with burgundy. But then in the big neon sign, it was red. And that's how we ended up with this beautiful colour that I still love. And now we use a lot of red and gold with it. So that's it, everyone. And there's so many things, and I could talk to you all on this podcast. And if you're watching later on YouTube for ages, if you've got any other questions, then do shoot them across to us. Email us, put them in social media, write it below, and I'll be more than happy to answer them. And hopefully I'll do another solo podcast episode if you liked it at some point in the future. I've got lots of different amazing episodes coming up. So I can't wait to share those with you and all these interesting people and inspirational people coming on this podcast. So do subscribe, do comment, do like. It really helps us more than you know. And don't forget to visit us. We'll be sending lots of things around for our 36th hotel anniversary. I'm so proud of this. And I know my grandfather would have been really proud. So Jiddu, my amazing Jiddu, Shukri Hanna Shammas, thank you so much for your vision, for building this hotel where you built it, for doing everything you did for our family, for the whole team here and for the local environment. I know that everyone who has ever been to St. Raphael Resort or had anything to do with it will join me in saying that this has been an amazing journey and it's only the beginning. So I can't wait to see where this takes us. And also to my dad, thank you so much for being the MD for so long before I was as well. I took over in 2015. So thank you everyone, to our family, to our friends. Have a great day and I look forward to hearing your feedback. Take care. Bye.